What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and I have some very exciting news for you guys because the Spanish media reports are saying that Real Madrid are open to allow clubs to take Eder Militao, their third or fourth choice centre back, off their hands on a 6-month loan deal with an option to buy at the end of the season. And he is just 22 years old, and I think he would be an absolutely perfect solution for the next 6 months. If Liverpool don't want to buy an outright centre-back right now because the finances suggest Liverpool are not in a position to spend 30, 40, 50 million pounds on a centre-back right now, and their Militao on a 6-month loan would be the perfect solution in my opinion, the short-term solution. We wouldn't have an obligation to buy him, just an option. So if Eder Militao really sets the world alight, sets the Premier League alight, we can buy him at the end of the season, or we can just send him back to Real Madrid. So that is a very low risk loan deal that I think Liverpool should be working on right now. Let me know if you agree with me in the comments below, and if you enjoy these transfer news episodes, leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here. So he has been linked previously with Liverpool. He's only 22 years old, and Real Madrid are trying to offload the player. They of course ideally would want to sell him, and their asking price is around 50 million euros, which is around 44 million pounds. But there is an option of getting Militao on a 6-month loan deal with an option to buy at the end of the season, and a loan deal would allow Jurgen Klopp the opportunity to provide cover for Van Dijk and Gomez, who are both out injured, possibly until the end of the season. And if Militao turns out to be an excellent fit for Liverpool, then 44 million wouldn't be a horrific price to pay for a very young, very highly talented defender who could stay at Liverpool for potentially even a decade or more. And in this video we will take a closer look what Militao could bring to Liverpool. He's just 22, as I said. He's 186 centimeters tall, that's 6 foot 1 inches tall. He started off his career at Sao Paulo in Brazil, and then he signed for Porto, where he scored 5 goals in 47 games, and then he signed for Real Madrid. But this season he only played 3 games for Real Madrid. He has been out of favor, and yes, he won the league last season and the Spanish Super Cup, and he also won the Copa America with Brazil. Last season he only played 20 times for Real Madrid, so he hasn't been a Real Madrid regular, and he wants to leave for game time, and Real Madrid want to offer. And what makes this an even more mouth-watering prospect that Militao could join Liverpool is he can play right back as well to a very, very high level. He could help reignite his Real Madrid career, because Sergio Ramos could be leaving Real Madrid at the end of the season. So Militao right now can't play in the first team. There are just too many defenders at Real Madrid who can play centre back, and he's down the pecking order. But if he comes to Liverpool, he has a great 6 months, he goes back to Real Madrid, and Ramos might have left, he could be a first choice centre back alongside Rafael Varane. So this loan move could actually suit both Real Madrid and Liverpool in the short term, and Liverpool would receive a highly capable Brazilian international defender with a point to prove and a relatively untapped reservoir of energy to work with. It could benefit Jurgen Klopp's midfield by allowing Fabinho to return to the midfield engine room, meaning there is more scope for rotation in the area, and the likes of Wijnaldum could be afforded a well-earned rest. From Real Madrid's perspective, having one of their young players, play under one of the best coaches in the world, Jurgen Klopp, all the while dealing with a similar set of expectations, demands and pressures at a club of a similarly world-class level, potentially coming back a better player is a tempting proposition even for Real Madrid. And Sergio Ramos' contract expires at the end of the season, so a temporary switch for Diego Militao to Liverpool makes even more sense. Finding a quality centre-back for the right price is almost impossible in the January transfer window, considering that any club would probably demand a huge transfer fee to part with one of their main players in the January transfer window. So signing Militao on loan makes sense from a playing perspective, from a financial viewpoint as well, and this could allow Liverpool to achieve their goals this season, which is to fight for the Premier League title until the end, to fight for the Champions League title until the end. So I think this would be beneficial for both Real Madrid and Liverpool as well. It's basically a no-brainer to take Eder Militao if he's available on loan, and the reports are saying he is available on loan. And it's a huge and unnecessarily gamble to go into the second half of the season with only Fabinho as our fit senior player who can play centre-back. Matip is right now injured. He still hasn't played with the first team, hasn't trained, with the first team, so it looks more and more increasingly likely that Matip won't be fit for the Manchester United game. And I think Liverpool should have done a deal like this at the beginning of January. We should have brought in a centre-back on loan for just 6 months and really help Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool achieve their targets, because I'm not sure if we have to play Henderson or Phillips or Williams against Manchester United. Any of those players will be a risk, because I'm not sure if they can live with the pace of Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and Greenwood and the likes of Manchester United, the attacking threat that they have. There is also a distinct possibility that Real Madrid could sign David Alaba in the January transfer window, and then they will have Varane, Ramos, Nacho and Alaba as well. So surely then they would allow Militao to go to Liverpool on loan. And I want to tell you guys the Liverpool fans' reaction to this report, because I think it's very interesting. One Liverpool fan said on Twitter, if Eder Militao is available on a €2.5 million fee, it should be a no-brainer for Liverpool. No excuses for not even trying. We need a centre-back right now, and I refuse to be swayed by the report that we have a big summer ahead, because those plans will change if we don't win the title. Another Liverpool fan said that Militao would be a great signing for Liverpool, Man United or Spurs easily. Fast, so he can play in a high line, while also fairly decent on the ball and very strong. £50 million defender available on loan isn't a standard situation, and that is exactly right. How many times can you sign a player on loan for such a cheap price who is worth around 40 to 50 million pounds? I don't think that happens very often. So please post this anywhere that you can, or share this video with your Liverpool supporting fans, that Liverpool need Eder Militao on loan right now. Otherwise, I think we will be throwing away a glorious chance to defend our Premier League title. John Aldridge, the former Liverpool player and Liverpool legend, said some interesting things about Manchester United. He said that they are a pretty ordinary team, lifted by two world-class players, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. And I think that there is some element of truth in that, but I don't think Liverpool are in a position to dismiss Manchester United this season, because they are 3 points above us in the league table, and after 17 games the league table doesn't lie. It shows that Man United so far have been slightly better than Liverpool in terms of getting wins, getting results, and that's what ultimately is the bottom line in football. This is what John Aldridge said: you can give the strikers as much finishing as they want or work through drills with the defense, but Jurgen Klopp will be making his players aware of what Man United are good at this week. What they are good at is getting the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford on the ball, and they are the danger. The rest of their team is pretty ordinary. They would be coming in 5th or 6th place, but those two players make them into a proper team. Jurgen Klopp won't be going overboard on Man United this week, because we are a better team, and we have proved that over the last 2 years. They have simply come closer, and it's about getting the lads to show we mean business. We are in the business part of the season, and we need to start now with the likes of Man United in particular. It's time to get back on track. Man United can only play one way, and they can't defend. They will back themselves on the break with the pace they've got up front, but I don't think the fans would be allowing that. I think it will be a pretty open game, and they will sense our weaknesses in trying to hit long balls between young Reece Williams or Nat Phillips and Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's what teams do. They pinpoint that area because our fullbacks get forward, take up advanced positions, so then we struggle on the break. The left channel is not too bad because Fabinho looks up and sees it, but for the young lads, as well as they are doing, and they are doing simply superbly, it's really hard Teams have a lot of quality and players who can put the ball in difficult areas with people chasing them, the likes of which Rashford will do. Man United will be working to capitalize on that area, but it's up to us to do what we are good at, and that is scoring goals at Anfield. And that's a very interesting analysis. I think Man United will try to play on the shoulder of that defender next to Fabinho, whoever that is, be it Henderson or Phillips or Williams. And I think maybe that will hinder our attacking potential, because probably Trent Alexander-Arnold will not bump forward as much. And I want to talk about how Jurgen Klopp, what he said about Man United getting so many penalties, and what a former referee, Mark Clattenburg, said in response to that. So Jurgen Klopp said, "I hear that now Manchester United had more penalties in 2 years than I had in 5.5 years. I've no idea that if it's my fault or how that can happen." And Mark Clattenburg said Jurgen Klopp must be getting worried, because his comments last week about Manchester United and penalties were straight out of Sir Alex Ferguson's playbook. It was mind games, an attempt to influence referee Paul Tierney and get inside his head before a huge match between Liverpool and Man United this Sunday. Jurgen Klopp was correct when he said United have won more penalties in 2 years than Liverpool have in his 5.5 years at Anfield. He was smart, because his comments could not get him into trouble with the authorities. But let's be clear, there is no conspiracy on the part of referees and officials. What is Klopp insinuating here? Was he suggesting Man United players have players who are encouraged to dive? If his intention was the former, then I've got no time for that. It's not true. The referees and officials have no conspiracy against Liverpool. But if he was highlighting the ease with which some Man United players go down in the penalty area, then yes, I believe he was making a valid point, even if it does ignore similar suspicions about some of his players. So Mark Clattenburg basically is saying that Man United players dive, but the Liverpool have some players to die, who dive as well, which I don't think is true. I think Man United players dive a lot more than Liverpool players, and also they get a lot more penalties because of that. And Mark Clattenburg said, "I've watched Man United closely this season and analyzed each of their 11 penalty awards. There are as many as 5 where I believe contact was invited or even initiated by the Man United player. Marcus Rashford, Martial, Pogba, Greenwood are the players involved. They are in many ways being clever." But then Mark Clattenburg really slammed Jurgen Klopp in the next part. He said, "First, Jurgen Klopp sounds like a hypocrite if he's suggesting Man United players are looking to win penalties. The likes of Mo Salah and Mane are just as capable of employing similar tactics. He's clearly getting edgy though, because not since Ferguson have we seen such a blatant attempt to influence a referee ahead of a big game. Jurgen Klopp wasn't doing this last season when Liverpool were winning every week. He does not like losing, he never has. He gets prickly, but he's wrong to suggest there is an aura around Man United that sees them given favorable decisions. There used to be when Fergie was there, but that he has eased massively since he left. I am the only referee to give 3 penalties to the opposition at Old Trafford, and that was for Liverpool of all teams in 2014. But David Moyes was manager. I'm not sure that would have happened when Fergie was there. So here is a referee admitting that when Sir Alex Ferguson was at Man United, referees gave penalties to Man United easier, and I already knew that because I followed the Premier League closely during those years, and every season like Man United always got a lot of penalties, and this feels a little bit similar this season, where Man United are just getting all the decisions by VAR, almost all of them going into their favor. I really hope that will not be the decider on Sunday when Liverpool play Manchester United, but I have this fear always that VAR will just favor Manchester United. But let's see what happens. We will find out very soon. And Jose Enrique, former Liverpool left back, said that Andy Robertson right now is the best left back in the world. This is what he said. Robbo has surprised everyone. When he arrived at Liverpool, it was hard in a big club after coming from Hull City. Alberto Moreno was starting ahead of him, but for me, he has been the best left back in the world for the last few years. I know everyone talks about Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich, but if you talk about consistency and level of performance, this guy is unbelievable. Liverpool play about every 3 days, and this guy always gives you a good performance, and for me, he's the player of the season for Liverpool. And Enrique also said that Henderson should stay in the defense if Matip is not fit. It is a good position for Hendo in that type of game because he's very fast, strong and good in the air. Obviously he's not a centre back like Van Dijk or Matip in the air, but I don't think Liverpool will require that against Man United. The kind of strikers they have, apart from Edinson Cavani in the starting lineup, are pacey strikers, and Hendo is a pacey player, so it will be good for him. Jose Enrique also said, I believe Jurgen Klopp knows he needs a new centre back because the best centre back in the world, Van Dijk, is probably injured for the whole season. Although Liverpool are being quite sensible in the transfer window, they know the situation with the pandemic, and yes, Liverpool are just going through a bad spell. It happened to Manchester City at the start of the season, it happened to Manchester United as well, and look where they are. Like the results, the performances have not been great either. Everyone expected Liverpool to win the league again, like we did last year with many points difference, but that's not the reality. That happens once in a very long time. The reality is this is just the moment Liverpool are going through, and hopefully against Man United they can sort that and get the 3 points. That is the perfect way to end this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I really hope Enrique is right. This is the perfect time to kickstart Liverpool's season again, to get the 3 points against Man United and go on a run of wins. Really excited about that game. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.